So continuing on with HDMI, we're going to talk about how HDMI actually works. The acronym, in case you guys want to memorize that, maybe you already know it, you probably do, High Definition Multimedia Interface. Why is it called multimedia? Well, because we're doing AV applications and also PC applications. So this is the first time with HDMI, this is the first time we had a universal connector for audio, video, and PC. So they squeezed in the word multimedia there. We use it to transmit uncompressed audio, video. There's 19 pins inside the HDMI cable. We're going to break those down in the next couple of slides. And in those 19 pins, there are 3 separate communication channels. One of those channels is DDC. There's 6 connectors of the 19 are for something called TMDS. A lot of people always ask, how do we get 18 gigs? Where does that number come from? Well, in the TMDS, there's 3 different channels inside of that. Each one is 600 megahertz. 600 plus 600 plus 600, that gives us 18 gigs. And then we also have most people have a love-hate relationship with CEC. I think I got really lucky in my bedroom system at home. It all works. The ARC works, the CEC works. So the idea behind that is I turn on my TV and it turns on the rest of the system. Now, this is a HDMI cable where the end has been hacked off and we're looking at it through sort of a microscope type of view. But you see pins 1 through 19 here, and it tells you exactly which each pin does. So there's pins for clock, so the timing is right, so the audio and video get there at the same time. Pin 13, for example, is CEC. And what you'll see in a lot of cases is, like with HDMI 2.1, I can't remember exactly which pins are interchangeable, but in HDMI 2.1, the reason we're able to get so much more bandwidth because there's a 4th channel for TMDS. And again, TMDS is all of the actual audio and video information. So in HDMI 2.1, they're able to do a 4th pair, but I'm not sure exactly. If somebody knows, feel free to chime in. Okay, so how does HDMI work? This is actually what happens when you plug the cable in, starting from the physical connector all the way down to actually getting a picture and getting sound. First thing you do is obviously the physical connection. The first thing that happens after that is the source will send a 5-volt signal to the display. We'll use the display as an example, and waits for a response. The display is going to say, oh, I just saw that 5-volt signal. I must be plugged into something. I'm here, I exist. Now that I'm here and I exist, I'm going to give you my EDID information. We're going to get really deep into EDID here today too. So the display sends out the EDID information, and the source says, okay, your EDID says 4K 30 with HDR. And so the source will put that out to the display, because that's what the display said its capabilities were. After that, there's an HDCP authentication. That's for copyright type stuff. We're going to get into HDCP a little bit later too. That just stops people from copying movies and things like that. It's something that was implemented very early on in HDMI. After the HDCP authentication, you actually get picture and sound, and you can start watching your movie. And then every 2 seconds after that, there's another HDCP signal that's sent down. And they do that because, I guess, if you're smart enough, and if there were no heartbeat, you could start the movie and then unplug the HDMI cable, plug it into some kind of recording device, and copy the movie that way. So every 2 seconds, there's always a re-authentication of the HDCP to make sure that you're not doing any shenanigans with the movie itself.